So we have a bit of a story that we're going to react to today. It's about a YouTuber named Young Philly, and basically what's happened with him recently is that he got exposed for or arrested, like it's a serious charge for him. From what I read, choking, bruising, and R-wording a girl in Australia after one of his concert. Pretty big and deep waters he's in right now, and there's a lot you can learn from this situation. I do want to formally say right now, before we get into this topic, that with all the buzz on the internet, with people getting exposed and things being put from darkness to light, there's a lot of gossip with these discussions. And the last thing I ever want to do or give the impression of is that this channel is a gossip channel. We don't do gossip here. We don't do shaming people and things of that nature. Yes, we'll call out something that's bad. However, there's a way that you do things. I just don't feel like it's a godly thing to be a gossip channel. I feel like you can get a situation in real time and you can react to it and learn from it and just leave it there. Let God do the rest, because I'm not going to be casting judgments out and this, that, and the third, because at the end of the day, we all have skeletons in our closet. Just be grateful that your skeletons haven't been put at the forefront center stage like these other people, So we praise God that we've learned from our mistakes. And, we get to learn from it in private and how that's shamed privately. However, these celebrities, these people, other people don't get to do that. So count your blessings, because it could easily be you to be exposed to something you did time ago that was diabolical and you should have known better, but God had mercy on you. Obviously, me, you, and whoever's watching this have not done anything as bad as like Diddy or Philly. I'm not saying that at all. But the channel description does say learn from my mistakes. However, there's some mistakes that I will just never do, but someone else will. So we can learn from that, and that's what we're doing today. When it comes to the case, it sounds like the consequences of sexual immorality. That's just simply what it is. The consequences of sexual immorality, I keep saying this on the channel, but I'm going to dive deep into it today, is, everyone will pay one way or another. Do you understand? Sexual immorality, what does that even mean? It means to engage in anything sexual before marriage. So if you watch porn, sexual immorality. If you masturbate, sexual immorality. If you do anything of that sort, it's sexual immorality, which means you can't do it. As I read the case, I don't know whether it was an actual R word or if it was just a stupid guy putting his fantasies into action on a girl who did not expect that to happen. And she walked away from the situation, realized, oh, that wasn't a pleasant experience. I should probably report this because I've got bruises down my body. I couldn't almost breathe. That wasn't really schmecks. That was abuse. So, of course, somebody is going to report that. But you see some guys who have watched so much porn on the internet. They've watched so much porn that they have no control over what they feel or what they want to do, what they think, or their fantasies are. And what you end up seeing is that a lot of these people is that when they do encounter somebody, a woman, they don't know how to have composure. And I think the thing about sexual immorality is that it always disturbs your composure to do anything. Ever notice that when you ejaculate, you're tired? All of a sudden you don't feel motivated to do anything and your emotions are not regulated. You don't have a focus and you don't feel positive. That's simply because that as soon as you ejaculate, the composure is gone. And the way the devil attacks any man is by having them in a state of mind that's not in composure at all, in the slightest. And even past the ejaculation, there's also the brain that's being rotted by the content of porn that an individual man is watching, which is why I see a lot of cases with men getting very aggressive or forceful with women, or having this desire to have sex all the time, or even getting desensitized to normal intimacy due to the amount of porn that they've watched, will lead to them actually developing fantasies that are beyond effed up, like to the point where it's like that's no return types of levels. That is a man that's not in composure. It's a very dangerous thing, because it's either that mentality could get him to actually R-word a woman, or put himself in a position where he's not thinking of how he could end up being in a case that's falsely accusing him of the R word. The inability to calm down in a sexual context will always have consequences for a man. So you see that your cock, that's your penis. I'm sorry to get all crude, but that will be the destruction of you if you do not get that in lock. Many times we see these situations over and over again, even with Diddy. It's always sexual stuff that is the downfall of a man. Diddy, Philly, and a bunch of other people that there's already been listed on the internet, but there's too many to remember. But it's always in a sexual context. And it's funny because even in the Bible, it's always been the unregulated discipline of sexual feelings that's destroyed a man. We see this with Samson. We see this with Solomon. Although he was still the wisest man to ever live, the amount of wives that he married, it really shook up his destiny and made things a lot difficult for him. It made him not in composure and more open to deadly attacks. King David, when he slept with Bathsheba, that destroyed his legacy because there's a lack of sexual composure. And a bunch of other people in the Bible. The thing that destroys a man is that his cock, and not being able to have composure and discipline without your penis. Guys, I'm not here to say that you can't have feelings of wanting to have sex with someone that you love. You feel what I'm saying? But it's a problem when you have feelings of wanting to have sex with any woman that you see. It may seem normal now. It's just me having attraction for a woman. No. You can be attracted to a woman, but once you start looking at everything in a sexual context, the devil has hold over you. And actually speaking, when he has that over you and you start, not controlling yourself, a lot of things can happen. You could have a baby before your time. You get an STD. You get into a rape case that you never even planned for. You can see this with Joseph in the Bible. He ran away from a woman that was trying to trap him with a sexual case, and he still got put in prison. So if we see this in the Bible and we see this in real time, guys, this is God sending a warning shot to anybody who's not putting their sexual feelings under wraps. It's a warning shot because you could be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You could carry out your sexual fantasies on the wrong person. You could be blinded about, what it is you should be doing, thinking, or saying in a public setting. All types of things, or you could get an STD. Unregulated sex always has bad consequences. Do you understand? It always has bad consequences. So you can never be in a state of mind or in a frame of mind where you think it's okay. You got to run away from it, man. You've got to want to stop. Because there's one thing to say you've got to stop, but you've got to want to stop. And that's why I see with this Philly situation, and he's not going to be the last. There's going to be loads of more people. It's a shame because, he's black as well. I'm just going to put it out there, and it's not to be like, oh, society's so unfair, the court system unfair, There are a lot more harsher on black people than there are white people in the court systems. Facts, no printer, But he's I'm sorry to say, he's fucked. I don't swear on this channel, but he's fucked. He's black, and he already has a few videos and clips of people saying X, Y, Z about him. His name's not credible. His career is done. All because he didn't control his sexualness. You may never be as big as Philly. You may never have an impact as Philly. But the consequences for sexual immorality will always be the same weight for anybody. There's even people who are not as famous as Philly who get put in these cases. Whether they were true or not, and whether he gets out of this innocent or not, he's still messed. His reputation is done for. People are always going to be looking at him sideways. So after watching this video, please, please, please lean on the power of God. You've got to understand, just because you feel it doesn't mean you should do it. Yes, you feel like you want to have sex. Don't do it though. God says don't do it for a reason. And yes, you've been getting away with it for a few, days, but God's always telling you before you do that sex, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Then bam, you didn't listen. Now you met the wrong woman. You feel what I'm saying? Or you met the right woman but did the severely wrong thing. You just went too far. You weren't able to control yourself. Things that are meant to be for your wife, someone you trust, someone that you've given your lives to each other, you know. In that context, maybe your fantasies could be done there. You get what I'm saying? But you gotta understand what she's comfortable with, someone that you trust. But there's niggas out here doing these crazy things to women that they don't even know or trust. And then they just get reported, you know. Or even still, they're doing it thinking they'll get away with it because they got all the way with it for so long. You know, and that's the easiest way to trap a fool. The fool has been given luck to get away with his evilness, but eventually the fool gets caught. Because the fool gets sloppy, the fool thinks like he's invincible, he can't get away with anything, and then bam, he gets caught. You get what I'm saying? Just because you feel like masturbating, don't masturbate. Just because you feel that this urge is strong. Sexual urge is very, very strong. But you don't act on it. You never act on it. Because sex, once it's done, it's done. Do you get what I'm saying? Once you masturbate, it's done, it's done. So you've got to just be wise about it. You got to sit there and be like, okay, I feel this way. What do? Pray. You got to just pray. Every single time you pray, you pray, you pray, you pray, you pray. That's how you defeat it. You pray. And as you're praying, you run away from it. Just pray. So even if you're in the middle watching it, pray. Watching porn, pray. Even if you're about to really have sex, pray. Because the devil will try and lie to you, convince you that you're too far gone in. Like it's too late for you to turn around. Like you're already watching it. You're already in the middle of sex. You can't stop now. He's a liar. You can always walk away. It's never too late. Save that for someone you love and trust. Don't try and compromise with sexual immorality because they'll try and get you to do that. To stop lust, to, okay, as long as I don't have sex, that's fine. So I can do the other things. I can still watch porn and masturbate. I can still do this. No, because the porn rots your mind. You should never, ever, God never designed for intimacy to be viewed by a third party. So when you see those people having sex on the screen, you're not meant to see that. You know what I'm saying? Don't leave here thinking that, you're some disgusting cretin, I've had the same struggles, wanting to stop watching porn, but it's like, it's difficult. It takes time, but it also doesn't. Because as soon as you get in the mindset where it's like, I've got to run away from this, it becomes a lot more easier. Those porn blockers, those other methods, they ain't going to save you, man. It's only God. You've got to want to undo that. And you got to dig deep as to why you feel the need to get validation from a sexual context. Lust is a very addictive thing. So when you see these situations, just think like, I've got to stop. I've got to do better. Flee from sex. Because sex is the thing that destroys every man. Undisciplined sex, sexual immorality, it destroys every man. Whether you like it or not. I hope that you guys watching this can walk away from this video seeing this warning shot and doing better. God bless. Take care. I'll see you guys next video.